Hey guys, I'm back, and I'm not sure if we're supposed to introduce each other in every video, but this is my second YouTube video, and my name is Yashika Wahi, and you can find me as YV Books on Instagram, and this is probably why you're here anyway. I don't really have that much of a YouTube audience. In case you guys did not know, I'm also a poet. I have around 8 poetry books published, and in this video, I just want to talk a lot, about poetry. I've basically been raised by Charles Bukowski and Muhammad Darwish. In case you guys did not know, even Lana Del Rey has her own poetry book. It's called Violets Bent Backwards Over the Grass, and it's really cool. It has all these sorts of pictures, and all her poetry sound like songs, and they're very soothing to read. Also, if you're mad over Lana like I am, you need this. Dear Adventurist, which is very underrated. I don't think in my 4 years of being on Instagram and TikTok I've ever heard anyone mention this. The only reason I came across this book is because I was in Whistler solo traveling, and I was just roaming around the bookstore and I randomly found this book, and that was coincidentally my first solo trip. And I just found this book, and it was if you're a solo traveler or if you're an artist finding the courage to just go out there and pursue your dream, this book is definitely for you, because it talks about how difficult it is leaving your comfort space, your hometown, but then once you leave it, those feelings, how they make you better, how they shape you, and how it's okay to also want rest, to also want to come back to that hometown and have that comfortable feeling, but eventually go out again to explore the world. Like Voldemort with this lighting. Oh, where's my nose? One of my favorite poetry books out of the 8 I've written is definitely Psychos and Poets, Volume 1. And the reason this is my favorite is because I feel like this is the most universal book I've ever written. I mean, if you've read my books, you know that most of the poetries are just blabbing. It's just okay, I'm gonna recite something. Shall secrets be hidden on the path to terror, where ambitions lie? In your eyes or mine, there are only masks in our vision. We stand at battlegrounds and talk of taming the agony of the world, but within us lay the beast that would burn the world for our safety. So let us put down our weapons and hide away our demons, just for a second, to show our real and scarred faces, to show where we died to begin such a cold and thirsty fate. This is from the writer's mansion of words, but you get the point. Most of my books aren't really something that everyone would understand, and they would just be like, what the hell is this? It's you really have to analyze this kind of poetry because it can have thousand and million sort of meaning. Most favorite poetry book that I've written has to be Psychos and Poets, Volume 1. And the reason I really like this book is because it has 4 chapters: a child, a demon, a rebel, and a fool. Oh no, it has a sheep too. A child, a demon, a sheep, a rebel, a fool. So it's basically, 5 chapters going through stages of human life. You come into the world, you're a child, you think with a child mindset. And then slowly, as you grow up, maybe you face some sort of, pain or abuse, and that makes you filled with rage or filled with grief. And you eventually get acquainted with this inner demon that makes you want to do harmful things or do bad things. And that's the demon. And then you go towards a sheep when you're at that phase when you realize that all these things you're doing, they're just a cover for what's going on inside, how scared you are or how much pain you're in. So you basically realize it's all a cover, and that makes you essentially a sheep. And then, but as you grow over that, as you confront your feelings, you realize that, you're a rebel. Swim in the ocean when it's winter, or like climb a mountain peak even though everyone's saying you shouldn't. Like, those kinds of things that, make you a rebel, not in a bad way, like, rebelling against the rules that the government has set, not that kind of rebel, but like, just in general, a rebel who stands for who they are and they don't let anyone define who they are. And then there's the fool, which is like, you're basically admitting, okay, like the world's gonna think of me this way, let them think of me this way. I'm just gonna be who I am, and I'm gonna be like, if they wanna call me a fool, if they wanna call me weak, I'm gonna stand for who I am, and I'm gonna keep doing things that make me happy as long as they're not hurting anyone else. This means like nature stuff, like exploring oceans, mountains. This doesn't mean like you do drugs all day or like whatever. I'm gonna recite something from it. Inside my head is a madman. I can't keep it locked forever. Sometimes I smile so people don't see it, and now it feels like I've been smiling forever. Okay, so the main point of this video is that you don't have to just read poetry, you have to understand it. It's just like studying something, psychology. You can't just read some stuff and say that, okay, I'm ready to be a therapist. Like, you have to actually understand the problem, understand what the person in front of you is trying to say, what sickness they're trying to reveal to you. And like, I feel like that's what poetry is. Someone's revealing something to you, and you have to understand that in your own way, in your own terms. But like at the end of the day, it should make you realize that, okay, this sort of thing exists, this sort of feeling, this sort of emotion exists, and maybe I feel it too.